Hi everyone, my name is Allison Lewis. I work in the marketing department at Concordia Publishing House, and today I want to walk you through the One in Christ Digital Resources Center. So if you're a new user or you are familiar with the previous version of the One in Christ portal, this is going to be a new and improved version for everyone, and it's just going to be a really helpful tool, whether you're teaching in person in your classroom this year, or if you're doing a hybrid, part in person, part remote, or if you're doing a completely virtual classroom this year. So let's get started. First, you'll go to cph.org and you'll look for the One in Christ Digital Edition, and you'll make a one-time purchase. This gives you unlimited access to all of the bonus materials and resources that are included in the Digital Center. So after you make the purchase and get the digital access code, you'll go ahead and log in using your CPH user information and the digital access code. So as you can see, the Digital Center includes folders starting with kindergarten all the way through 8th grade, and there's a lot of great information in here. There are PDFs, there are rich text files, there are slideshows, printable crafts and activities. If you can think of it, is probably in here. And it's really great because these are completely reproducible and usable for your classroom setting, wherever that is. So starting with kindergarten, let's just walk through some different files. First, there's a family letter for each grade, which is really nice. If you're working completely remote, this is great. You can download it and send it to parents maybe via email or through your student portal if you have one. If not, it's great to send home with students in their backpacks as well. Each class also has memory work, so that's kind of a nice feature, and there's a couple of different formats to download that in. Specifically for kindergarten, there are these really cool little videos for a couple lessons. This one goes with creation, so it just kind of sketches out some sea creatures for the kids, which is really cool and kind of helps bring to life and help them visualize this lesson in particular. So that's really neat. And there are some other really nice files, for example, these audio clips. So when you're teaching about Noah and the flood, this is a really great one to use. I'm going to give you a little sample just so you can hear it. So that can kind of help reinforce the lesson in an audio way as well. There are 9 units for every grade, which just gives you a lot of different reproducible worksheets and activities to go with each lesson. If we jump to 2nd grade, I'm going to show you the memory book for grade 2. This one's a little bit more in depth than the one for kindergarten, but it's really great. It gives parents helpful tools and tips for reinforcing learning at home. It's got a morning prayer in here, a lot about the 10 Commandments and accompanying Bible verses. And so it just kind of walks them through all of the memory work for the 2nd grade. Another really cool resource is this 10 Commandments slideshow, which goes through each and every one of the commandments. It gives not only the commandment itself, but also the meaning from Luther's Catechism. So that's really great. And there's also some illustrations too. One other really cool resource for 2nd grade that I want to share is this lyrics slideshow. So it gives you the lyrics specifically to this song, and it's just a really great way to reinforce melodies and just things for kids to learn. Going back to the main Digital Resource Center, I'm going to jump to 8th grade. This one's probably the most different compared to the first 2 things I've showed you, just because these kids are obviously a little bit older. So there's a couple of things that are really neat. There's this A Tale of Two Vineyards slideshow, which is just kind of to give you an example of some of the higher level biblical applications that kids can work on as they're working through this story. And it just kind of gives them, some characters to look at and some plot information to jot down too. Another cool tool is this Joseph and his family slideshow. So it gives you room to kind of write down what happened in the story. This version is in red is for teachers. The blank version is for students. And so it just kind of walks you through what happens, kind of play by play through that Bible story. And then there's this other really cool video aspect for students in some of the different lessons. This one in particular is Solomon building the temple, but it's an audio narrated version. So I'm going to play a little bit of that for you just to kind of give you a better understanding of how it works.
Solomon builds the temple. 1 Kings chapter 5 gives a detailed description of how the materials for the temple were gathered. 1 Kings chapter 6 gives a detailed description of how the temple was built. 1 Kings cedars of Lebanon, and Solomon will pay his servants whatever wage King Hiram deems fair. Hiram's servants cut down the trees.
So that's kind of a little glimpse into what that one looks like as well. So I hope that this tutorial has been helpful, and I hope that it helps you and your students this year, whether you are in person or in hybrid, or if you're just remote and at home. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to visit cph.org. One final note, this is not the student workbook, so this does not replace the student workbook. However, it's a great supplement to all the materials in that as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that this helps you this year as you are teaching and learning in your classroom, wherever that is. Thanks.